Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tool Time Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great long weekend. Hope you got to relax, have a little peaceful time, or have crazy wild fun, whichever one you wanted. Today, we are going to talk about tools for education. This is a really broad topic, but it's part of why we're here is to just provide resources that we have available at MD Anderson for everyone to use and access. Everything I'm going to show you today is free for you to use here at MD Anderson. And please feel free to add more to the chat if you think of additional ones that I've missed. I'm sure I've missed plenty. I'm Larissa Gann from the Research Medical Library. My co-host is Leslie Moore. She's also from the library. You can reach out to us anytime if you have questions about tools, resources, services, really anything. We're here to try to point you in the right direction. You can find us at mdanderson.org/library, or on Inside, just type in library. I wanted to mention a couple upcoming classes. These are great if you have new trainees coming in. We have a class on clinicaltrials.gov. The website has changed. So if you ever search for clinical trials, that class will help you. We have an introduction to systematic reviews. That's specifically very good for trainees to take. EndNote 20 is the new version of EndNote. So our education librarian is going to go over how to get started with EndNote 20 to create your bibliographies. Also great for trainees and students. And then PubMed, getting started. So just searching for literature and using PubMed. These are all on the Inside calendar. So if you go to Inside to news and events, you can find these also on the library website. Just a reminder, on Inside, if you go to that events calendar, you can see what's happening around the institution. It's very, very useful. I check that pretty much every day. The new faculty CV system is live. So if you work with faculty at all, in any way, you want to have an awareness that this system has changed. It's the first time it's changed in a long time. I think over 20 years, maybe. So had a big change. So they're going to do some demonstrations on this. One is today, and then there's some additional ones. You can find this on Inside the events to add to your calendar. There's also a page where you can look at the FAQs about the new CV system. And be sure to watch the demo if you support faculty in any way, or if you are faculty, you're going to want to know about this. So let's hop into these tools for education. I, of course, want to let you know that the library is here as an amazing tool for education. I'm not just saying that because I work in the library. It really is where you're going to get all of your access to articles, to ebooks, to databases, to that information, that literature that you're going to use when you're creating courses, when you're doing education research, or even when you're in the clinic and you're trying to help people. So the first tool I want to mention to you is the Search the Library tool. If you go to our website, and you can Google MD Anderson Library to find it as well, we have one search bar where you can search the resources we have at the library. The Search the Library bar, which is pictured here, and I'm going to show it to you in a second, helps you quickly find articles, ebooks, book chapters, pretty much everything we subscribe to, and it's free, everything that you find in the system, because we already subscribe to it for you. You can filter your search results just like you would in any database or on Amazon or anywhere you're at. You can filter by year, by format. So let's say you're just looking for books, you can filter by that. There's one-click access to the full text of these materials, and there's a way to easily cite things for AMA, APA, MLA, and NLM. Let me show this to you just real quick. This is the Search the Library bar I'm talking about. So you could bookmark the library's homepage and you could search for any topic you're thinking of. Obviously, we tend to have a focus more on oncology, but we have tons of materials outside of oncology as well. So if I just type in education science, it's going to search our library for what we have. The first things that are popping up are journals and journal articles. If I want to get to the full article, I just click on available online and it'll take me. So it's pretty simple to get there. If I want to filter, because this is too much stuff, there's a ton of results here. I could filter by date. So I could say I just want to look from 2020 to the present. And it'll narrow it down for me. And I can also filter by format. So it's thinking, here it is, the format here. And I could say, I just want to look at books, or I just want to look at book chapters, whatever that is. You could also say you just want to look at articles. Now, this is a really broad search that I did. You can get more specific. But if you find something that you want to use and you want to cite, so let's say this book, you open it up, you like it, you want to use it, you can cite it just by using the little quotation mark tool here. And you can just copy the APA style, the AMA style, the MLA, or the NLM, copy it to this clipboard, and you can use it in a PowerPoint and a Word document, whatever you need. So search for what you want, get to the full access, and you can get the citations so you don't have to remember exactly how to lay out your citations. That's always a question we get. If you have trouble with AMA or APA or anything, you can ask us as well. Okay, so that's search the library. We also have something called Libby Nomad. So this is a browser extension that anyone can add to their browser. You can use it on Chrome, on Edge, or Firefox to get to the full text of the articles. So whether you know it or not, we have, I think last year we had 2.3 million articles downloaded from our library subscriptions. So it's a lot of reading that our clinicians and our trainees and everyone is doing. We want you to get to the full text PDF. We don't want you to have to pay for it. So if you add the Libby Nomad extension, you can get to it quickly. Let me show you what it looks like. When you add the Libby Nomad extension, you can be on any journal website. So you could be Googling around for articles, click on the article title, and you're going to look for the green fire icon. This is to make it really quick and fast for you to get to the PDF. If you want to, it's still opening, it's thinking. Adobe's got to think it through. You can download the extension from the Libby website. I put the link in the slides, but if you type in Libby Nomad, they just have a download page. So if I'm using Chrome, you could add it right here, but you could also go to download Libby Nomad and choose the browser that you're using at the bottom. So they have quite a few browsers that they support. But the point is that they want you to be able to get that article quick. So that little green fire icon will get you to the full text article. You can use this on any computer, anytime. It doesn't have to be an MD Anderson computer. It could be your personal computer. It could be your iPad, your phone, whatever you're using. You're not required to use VPN or VX Remote because we have our own authentication method. So it's one-click access to your journal subscriptions. We also have Browsine, which is a personalized bookshelf of journals that you want to follow. It's owned by the same company as Libby Nomad. This just allows you to read the latest articles on any device at any time. So that's how you get full text articles. If you ever hit a paywall and you're asked to pay 30 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever it is, don't pay. Just order through our interlibrary loan service. You can order any article or book chapter for free through us. We'll pay the cost. And we can get it to you usually the same day, but 1 to 2 working days. Just to let you know, for interlibrary loan, when you order something, there's actual people over here working on this for you to get the information for you quickly. So like real people, it's not just a machine. So they're just wanted to remind you that we're here to help. Okay, so let's talk about some books and more for school. So back in the day, we tended to get just print books for school, but this is not the way it works anymore. We're in the 21st century. Academic ebooks offer a lot more. So now our ebooks are, we have most of our ebooks online. There are a few books that are not available as ebooks, but the majority are online. You can download a specific chapter of an ebook. Sometimes you can download the whole ebook to your computer to save for later. You can annotate the chapters, so make notes in them, highlight them. You can share a chapter within your own school. Don't put it on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or anything like that, because that's copyright infringement. But if you share it within your own school, it's totally legit. You can, some ebooks have read aloud technology. So if you have a reading disability or you just prefer to hear the book versus read it, a lot of them will have a read aloud technology option. If you use Microsoft Edge, and you could try this today. If you open the Microsoft Edge browser, there's a little A in the URL bar. If you click on that, it will read the document to you aloud. So that can be really helpful and help with accessibility. If you hate the voice that it's reading to you in, which Leslie and I both hated the default voice. You can change the voice option so it can be British or Australian, or I can't remember all the languages, all the different accents it had. So read aloud technology is something else that our students can offer if they need additional assistance. You can use this even if it's not for an ebook. So if there's a document or a page that you want read aloud, you can use the read aloud icon. It doesn't have to be for an ebook. There's more than just ebooks available too. So most of our ebook platforms offer supplemental materials to help support education. A lot of them will offer things like case studies. So if you need to embed case studies in a course, those are some of those platforms that have those available. Multimedia. So books are not just paper books anymore. Most of them have images and videos embedded in them. Those are images and videos that you can download and add to your course a lot of times, or to a PowerPoint to supplement your presentation, your lecture. There are podcasts available on some of these, tons of clinical calculators, depending on what kind of calculator you're looking for, flashcards. And a lot of these platforms offer CME and CE credits. So if you're looking for CME or CE credits, we actually have a list on our website of the platforms that offer that. So a lot of those will just require you to read a section, take a little quiz, and then you can get credits for that. So if you have questions about getting those credits, you can ask in the library and we'll help you find the right resource. This is just an example of an interactive image that was in one of the ebooks that we came across. There's also a textbook reserve. So this is specifically for the School of Health Professions, but I just wanted to mention it. We can create a reserve for other programs or other groups. But the School of Health Professions, they always let us know what ebooks their students are going to be using. We try to purchase them all and make them available on this platform so students can get to them easily. Anyone can request an ebook. So if you have an ebook title that you need for a course, you can request from our website and say, hey, I need this, I'm teaching this course, or I'm taking this course, and we'll do our best to get it. We can't always get it, but we do a pretty good job of getting it. There's also a new resource that we just got last month, and it's called Clinical Key. So Clinical Key is sort of a combined platform of ebooks, journals, and other information. So what they provide is one search bar for all the content listed. So it's supposed to be like that one-stop search for medical information. There's key textbooks for oncology and imaging and a lot of other topics in Clinical Key. You can search by a specific topic or drug to get an overview, kind of like an encyclopedia. So if you want a student to review a specific topic or drug, they can go just to that one, or you can link them just to that one. There are images in Clinical Key that could be used for presentations, for educational presentations. So a lot of times people are asking how to get images. We're not really supposed to just copy images from Google and put them in our presentations unless they are the copyright license allows. This platform allows you to use these for educational purposes, their images. They also have CME credits built into their platform. So they have a setup where you can log in and you can review material and get CME credits as well. So basically, there's tons of stuff in Clinical Key. One of the main reasons we were excited about it was it had textbooks we couldn't get anywhere else. So textbooks, procedural videos, drug information, there are clinical guidelines, there are patient education materials. So if you're in the patient education area, there are patient education materials there. And again, images and multimedia that are available. If you're off campus using and want to go to Clinical Key, you can go to the library website and log in first and then get to the resource. You can't just Google Clinical Key and it'll give you access. You'll need to either be on the VPN or go to the library's website, log in, and then you can get full access to the resource. We also have Access Medicine. Access Medicine is similar to Clinical Key in that it's like a suite of tools. So it has textbooks, it has case studies, it has study tools like flashcards. They have lots of images and multimedia. They also have a built-in instructor section. So if somebody's using these materials for a course, there's some additional tools available for instructors. You do have to request an instructor account, but you can build little quizzes and do other things like that. So why would we use Access Medicine? it's just got a ton of resources in there. The images can be reused for educational purposes. And there's different focus areas that we've added this year. So just want to show it to you real quick. So Access Medicine is the main general medicine tool. You can search one bar to get everything that's here. You can also just go straight to the books or look at the more specific areas. Beyond Access Medicine, we also have a lot of these other platforms. We have Access Hematology Oncology. We have Access APN for nurses, Access Anesthesiology, and we added Access Pharmacy as well. So all of these have different lists of textbooks and tools that you can use in them specific to those topic areas. You'll notice there's a patient education section here as well. So there's tons of stuff from that platform. We also have Access Neurology and Access Dermatology. I forgot about this. There's a lot of books and resources. And then we have O'Reilly. So O'Reilly is a platform for IT. So if you're into coding and programming, O'Reilly has a single sign-on setup so you can log in and you can take a look at their books or their courses. They have self-paced learning and they have ebooks and audiobooks. And there's the Libby app as well. We talk about the Libby app a lot, but we want to mention again, there are ebooks and audiobooks available on Libby for DEI, leadership, for hobbies, autobiographies, wellness. There are some classic literature titles. So this is kind of outside our normal thing, but if you have a student that's in school, a teenager that needs to read one of the classics, you can get these for free through the Libby app, either through MD Anderson or through your local public library. You don't need to buy them. You can get them for free. A lot of classic titles are available free online anyway, so you can save a few bucks doing that. So let's talk about writing and presentation tools, because I think these are some of the most helpful things that we have beyond just resources. So for citing, so we get lots of questions about citing because when you have people, we have new trainees who are going to be trying to publish. We have students who are going to be writing papers for the first time in a while. You don't need to struggle with your citing. There are tools you can use. There is the search the library bar that I showed you before that has the quick cite tool. You could quickly cite in that APA or AMA format there. There's also EndNote, which I didn't put on this list for some reason. But EndNote is a citing tool that's free for anyone at MD Anderson to use. We have the AMA guide online. So if someone is writing a paper for publication, the AMA guide can come in handy. And we have the APA style and grammar guidelines online. Those are actually free online, but students tend to use APA style, our nurses tend to use APA style, and those grammar guidelines are available online. If anyone gets stuck on citing, because I realize if you haven't done it in a while, it's easy to get stuck on it. Sometimes I have to relearn it myself, even though I do it frequently, to go back and look again because they change. We have a Citing Your Work guide on our website. So these are short videos on how to use the APA and AMA style rules. So these are great to embed in a course or just link your students out to. We also have the EndNote guide, which includes videos and info on how to use EndNote. We do have classes on EndNote regularly as well, which are great to get your students or trainees to sign up for, or yourself if you need to refresh or learn it. But the guide is there that people can access anytime. And you can also ask a librarian. I actually had a question first thing this morning, really early, from a faculty member about citing. And I answered that question first thing this morning. So you can ask us anything about citing. There's no such thing as a silly question. We love questions. Please ask us. Someone asked about where the guides were. Is there an EndNote guide online or available? Yes, absolutely. Let me show you real quick. From the library's homepage, you can go to our Education Hub. Our Education Hub, we're trying to make it everything available in that one section. You'll see that the Citing Your Work section's here. There's an EndNote section here. PubMed. We have a section on writing. There's a section on scientific posters. There's a lot, and I'm going to mention these. So if you click on these, you can get to all of the resources we have. But don't hesitate to ask. If you can't remember anything we talk about today, except that I said to ask, please reach out and ask. We also have literature search tools. So we have tons of databases available beyond PubMed. So we have those PubMed classes, and obviously PubMed's available. It's linked to the full text articles also, or you can use that LibKey Nomad add-on. But we have tons of other databases depending on what the topic area is. So we can show your students how to use these databases. We can show you how to use these databases and help you find that literature that you're looking for based on whatever the assignment is. EndNote is available. I mentioned this before. This is a great tool for literature searching. It helps you organize your references and prepare when you're going to be writing up your manuscript or your paper. And we have some more guides available online. So we have guides available for our health and biomedical research. We have a self-paced course for database searching. So there are some classes here at MD Anderson that embed the database searching course in their course because they want their students to take database searching and learn the basics. And of course, you can ask a librarian. We're here to meet with you. We can do presentations for your school and your class as well. And then there's writing tools. So this is getting tougher. The writing tools, we're actually looking at some new ones, but Authenticate is a tool to check for plagiarism. So whether you're in school, before you submit to your instructor, you're going to want to use Authenticate and make sure that nothing was accidentally plagiarized, or most of the time it's not intentional. If you don't use it, your instructor is going to be using it. So you can ask for a free Authenticate account to check your manuscript for plagiarism for your paper. If you're publishing, so if you're a trainee, you're going to want to use Authenticate before you submit to a publisher. If you don't use it, the publisher is going to use it, and they're going to kick it back to you if they find anything that they suspect could be plagiarism or text recycling or anything of that nature. So Authenticate's free to use. It's private. You can ask us for an account. Check your paper before you turn it in. Microsoft Editor is available. I get asked quite frequently for Grammarly. Grammarly is not available through MD Anderson. We did attempt to purchase it, but we were unable to get it through for many complicated reasons. But it's okay because we have Microsoft Editor. Microsoft Editor is very similar to Grammarly. It's in the Word app on the desktop and also online. We do have a recording of a Tool Time Tuesday on how to use Microsoft Editor. I'm thinking about updating that, but it's pretty simple to use. So it checks for grammar, spelling, language, and also has a little bit of a plagiarism check in it as well. And then of course there's EndNote for citing your work. So what help is available for this? So we have a quick guide on writing scientific articles, again, on our website. We have some self-paced writing courses. We do offer some live sessions as well. And you can ask us if you have specific questions about using these resources or about writing. We do have scientific editors on staff that can guide you to the right information in the right place. Did I miss any questions?
There was a question about Libby app. Do you need a library card for the Libby app?
Oh,
The answer is for Anderson, you only need your login credentials like you would be logging into your computer. But for local public libraries, you would definitely need the library card. And then another question is, if we check out an ebook, do we have access for a certain time period or indefinitely? And the answer there is borrowing links vary from platform to platform.
so for Libby, you have a limited amount of time. I think you get 2 weeks, but most of our platforms, you can download chapters, save them to your computer, and you're fine. They're not checkout kind of books, but you can always ask us if you're not sure. There's a free version of Grammarly that can be used. Yes, there is a free version of Grammarly. Just be careful with any tools we're using that have those that are attached to Word or anything like that. If you're just doing emails, that's probably fine. But a lot of those tools are capturing the words you're putting in them. I'm not saying Grammarly is doing that. I don't know for sure. But Microsoft Editor has been vetted through the institution, and we know it should be secure for us to use, that it's not going to capture anything that we're writing that's private or patient focused. Okay. Good question though. Microsoft Editor is very similar to Grammarly. I get the question for Grammarly a lot, and I tell people about Editor, and they poo-poo it sometimes without even trying it. I don't know if poo-poo's the right word. But I think it's because Grammarly is so good at advertising. Every time I go anywhere, I see Grammarly advertisements. I don't know if they just know that I'm a librarian or something, but they're very good at it. Editor does the same thing, and it's comparable. So, but you can use free Grammarly if you want. Okay, so for posters, presentations, and figures. So this is another thing that we do with trainees and with students. A lot of them are going to be doing presentations and posters. So one thing is we want to make sure they're not just Googling figures and taking them from the internet and using them and calling them their own, because that is copyright infringement. We can also do classes on copyright if you have questions about that. But we have some tools available that they can use. So they can use BioRender to create figures and posters that are copyright free. And when I say copyright free, I mean they can use them for educational purposes. They can create their own figures. There's templates for figures on there that you can use and you can modify. And you can even publish those figures up to 5, I believe, per paper. And because we have a license, they don't have to pay a copyright fee for that. There's also GraphPad Prism that's available through the Software Center. I personally don't know how to use GraphPad Prism. I think it's beyond my skill set, but they do have a training video library in GraphPad Prism for you to learn. And it's another tool that can be used to create figures. Again, available through the Software Center for free. We have OpenWorks. OpenWorks is a little bit different. It's there for you to be able to create a poster session. So we put poster sessions on OpenWorks. The reason I'm pointing out OpenWorks to you is that you can view other people's posters that are already published. It can give you an idea of what your poster should look like, sound like, just give you some examples to look at. So I think it's a great way to help teach our trainees and our students that there are other posters, and these are some examples of what they look like. How to make a professional poster, basically. You can also add your poster to OpenWorks if you're interested in publishing it. Just let us know. The other tool that I like for creating visuals for classes or posters is Canva. I don't know if any of you have used Canva before. It's free to use. We do not have the educational license for this. The institution doesn't have a license, but you can use it free for education up to a point. There's things that are pay for, of course. But you can create visuals for class, posters, presentations, all sorts of things on Canva for free. It's very pretty. You do not need to be a graphic designer to use it, which is my favorite part. I'm going to show you an example in just a minute.
We have a question. Is there a
yes.
universal username and password for Canva?
There's not. So we don't pay for Canva. The institution doesn't pay for Canva, but I use the free one just for creating things for a presentation. Again, there are pay for things in there, but I have always been able to use it without paying for anything. So you have to just create your own account. Okay, so what help is available for posters and presentations? We do have a quick guide on creating scientific posters that you can link your students or trainees to so they can get the gist of it. That quick guide also includes information on things like Brand Central. Brand Central is where you go to get the templates for posters for MD Anderson. It gives you the color scheme we're supposed to use. It's very, very handy. We do have a video on how to make good figures and tables that our scientific editors created. And there are some additional poster guidelines available. So basically, if you have someone who's going to be creating a poster and you don't want to teach them from scratch, we have lots of tools available that they can use to learn how to create a poster, or at least give you a good first draft of a poster to look at. Okay, I wanted to show you just a couple of quick examples. These aren't critical or anything, but just these were a couple of basic Canva examples that I created. These were really just internal, but I am not a graphic designer. It was just very quick. It's very quick to pick a template. You can add an image or two, add some text, and personalize it. And then these are some BioRender examples. So the figures are Canva's obviously for a little bit more fun, a little bit more pop wow on the Canva, but BioRender is really for publishing and creating these official figures that you would use in a presentation. It's pretty magical to use. So if you have a trainee, they're probably going to want to use BioRender at some point if they're publishing or presenting. All right. Does anyone have questions or other suggestions for tools that I missed? I have no doubt. I forgot to mention that LinkedIn Learning was featured again on Inside the other day. So if you haven't used LinkedIn Learning, it has a lot of great courses in there that are free to take. It's a good tool to use for setting goals because it has full courses that you can get a certificate for. BioRender is also available on the library website, yes, under the databases section. Yeah. Any other tools anybody's used? Somebody said they love Canva. I do too. It's very pretty. I like to make silly puns on it, like our instructors are quality.
We have a question. Do you have to be a member of LinkedIn to complete the training?
No, so there is a single sign-on now for LinkedIn Learning, so you can use the link. We have it on the library's website. You can log in with your MD Anderson credentials, complete your training, and get the certificate that you need to turn in or just want to put on your LinkedIn profile. If you want to read for pleasure, the best app is the Libby app. That's what Leslie and I use because we can use the public library on it. You can also use the MD Anderson library on it as well, and it's free books. But the Gutenberg library has free books as well, usually classics, things that are in the public domain. But Libby's probably the best app, I would say. PictoChart for infographics. Yes, PictoChart. I haven't played with that in a while. There's lots of image tools and graphic tools that are free to use to make your images a little bit more graphical. So
going back to leisure reading,
Mhm.
one of the things about being a resident of Texas is that nearly every public library in Texas you have access to as a Texas resident. Now, having said that, not all of them are free. Like you could go to Amarillo and check and actually get a library card. They may charge you $10 to have a library card, or it may be free depending on what library you're at. And the other thing is that more library cards equal more access to Libby collections as well. So just FYI.
So Houston Public is free to use and you can get a card online. Harris County is free to use and you can get one online. Fort Bend County is free to use. You can get one online. You do have to sometimes wait for books because there's only a certain amount of books for everyone. Brazoria, thank you. Brazoria County has a free library. We have so much access. So if you ever want to save a few bucks, it's a great place to get magazines and get books and save a few bucks. Also for you, if you have kiddos that are in school and need to read, a lot of those classics are either available through the public library or there are other free apps you can use to read the classics as well. Oh, Galveston's free too. I love how broad our audience is here. And you can switch between the libraries. So, you know, if I switch between Houston Public and Harris County and MD Anderson, so then I get 3 library accesses. All right, I'm going to post this recording to the team, and I will share it with anyone who attended today. And please continue the conversation if you think of other cool tools. I've already thought of others I could have put on the slide deck, but that's what the team is for, to continue sharing. We are going to continue sending out a tip of the week in our email. It's just kind of a tip, something we learned along the way that hopefully is general enough to help everybody. So this week we talked about the new Zoom chat feature that's available. All right. Thank you everybody for coming. I hope everyone has a great week. Oh, the Microsoft Editor. Microsoft Editor. I have to find it, but we do have it. And I might do a new one soon because I think it has updated and added some additional features. It's about a year ago that we did it. Here's the Microsoft Editor. It's a great tool to check out too. So, all right, everyone.